The king who tested his servant and failed himself. Golden sunlight floods a grand palace hall. A proud king sits high upon his throne. Courtiers bow deeply before him. A humble servant stands quietly at the back. Whispers reach the king's ears. They say the servant is loyal beyond measure. They say he would never betray. The king smiles coldly. Loyalty must be tested. That night the king calls his closest advisor. A plan is formed in secrecy. The next morning, a jewel goes missing. The most precious ruby in the kingdom. Shock spreads across the court. Guards search every chamber. Accusations float in the air. The king's eyes rest on the servant. The servant is summoned forward. His head bows respectfully. He denies nothing. He demands nothing. The king orders imprisonment. Chains are placed around innocent wrists. Inside the dark cell, the servant kneels in silence. He whispers prayers instead of curses. Days pass without complaint. Food is offered late. Water comes rarely. Still no anger leaves his lips. The king watches secretly, waiting for rage, waiting for betrayal. None comes. The queen visits the cell quietly. She asks why he does not defend himself. The servant answers softly. Truth does not shout. Meanwhile, the king spreads rumors, saying the servant confessed privately. The court believes the crown. The servant's family suffers shame. Neighbors turn away. Children whisper cruel words. Still, the servant remains silent. He refuses to speak against the king. One night, a storm strikes the palace. Lightning shakes the towers. The king wakes in fear. An assassin slips through shadows. Dagger drawn toward the royal chamber. Guards are distracted by thunder. The servant hears movement from his cell. A loose brick reveals a hidden passage. He escapes silently, not to flee, but to protect. He runs through the storm, reaches the royal hallway. The assassin approaches the king's door. The servant tackles him from behind. Steel clashes against stone. The dagger falls. The assassin is captured. Guards rush in confusion. They see the servant standing over the threat. The king steps forward, stunned. Rain drips from the servant's torn clothes. The truth crashes down. The ruby was never stolen. The king himself had hidden it, a test of loyalty. And yet the accused servant saved his life. The court gathers in silence. Chains fall from the servant's wrists. The king removes his crown. He kneels before the man he doubted. The servant bows lower. He asks for no reward. The queen speaks gently. True loyalty needs no test. The ruby is returned to its place. But something heavier has shifted. The king announces publicly, the servant was innocent. He confesses his own failure. Pride blinded justice. The court watches history unfold. A ruler humbled. The servant returns home quietly. His family embraces him. Neighbors lower their heads in shame. Days pass peacefully. The king rules differently now. Less suspicion, more wisdom. He invites the servant to stand beside him, not below. Trust replaces fear. Respect replaces pride. The kingdom prospers slowly. Stories spread across villages of a servant who stayed loyal and a king who learned humility. The throne feels lighter. The crown feels heavier. Power without trust collapses. Leadership without humility fails. The king once tested loyalty and discovered his own weakness. True greatness is not in ruling. It is in admitting wrong. The servant proved nothing because he was already true. The king failed himself, but rose by accepting it. Sometimes the test reveals the tester. Sometimes loyalty saves even the unjust. A crown shines brighter with humility. A servant can teach a king. Honor grows in silence, and wisdom begins with regret.